Hi guys, and welcome to Unity tutorial of a calculator. Okay, let me show you guys how this works. We can use the backspace. There we go. And once it's empty, default back to 0. Let's assume we want to multiply 78 by 9. Okay, if we change our mind, we can always delete that very 9 and let's select 2. 78 multiplied by 2, and that will be 156. So we can clear. Let's enter any other value, try out plus minus. Let's multiply that by 2. There we go. And divide that by 3 people. There we go. Clear. Now, let's say 89 plus 3. Multiply by 7. Divide by 8. There. Okay. That is how it works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight into Unity development environment, and we'll put one of these together. So I'm going to exit out and let's start a new project entirely. So let's select the Unity Hub, click on new project, and let's give our project a name. I'm going to call that calculator YouTube. There, that's the name. All right, click on create right here. Oh, before I click on create, make sure you select your template, either maybe 2D, but what I'm using, I want to use the 3D. So make sure you select 3D and click on create. And now the system is being generated. Okay guys, my development environment is ready. So let's change it to 2D so that we can see what we are up to. So I'm going to come here, the hierarchy, drop it down. Let's select UI, select panel. There we go. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click inside the panel and go back to UI, and I will add an image. Let's take that somewhere there and just drag the image that much. Now I will then add a text. So go back to UI, right click on the panel, go back to UI, and let's select legacy here and select text. And that is the text. I'm going to paste the text on top of this image, and let's just drag it that much. If I don't do that, I won't be, the background will just be transparent, which I don't want. So the text, I'm going to change the text in there to 0 and get it centered. I'll align it to the right, get it centered. Then I'll change the size to about 70, and you can make that bold if you want. There we go. Now we have the image, we have the text. Next, I'm going to back to the panel. Now let's add a button. Go to UI and grab all of a button inside the legacy again. That is my button. Something like that. Bring that here. And I'm going to change the size as well. So the font size will be maybe about, let's go for maybe 70 as well. We can always adjust that anyway. That's the font size. And we need to get rid of this data on the button. Let's come right down here and just get rid of that. BS, something like that. Okay, so let's right click and create another one. Right click, select duplicate, drag the duplicate copy here. Undo that. I want a button. It should be a button, not just the text. Okay, now right click on the button. You see the button, this is the first one. Right click on everything and the text content on it and select duplicate. We can then move it across. There. We also need 2 more buttons. Select both button, right click and just create a duplicate. Bring it here. Very good. Ah, that's good. So let's increase the size of these two components in there. Let's make them about 600 and see. 600 seems to be too much. 560. 560 is also a little bit too much. So drag that. Okay, that's fine. Now that that is done, I'm going to kind of like delete the data that I have in there. Oh, that very one, the one in the middle, I'm going to change that to CE. And this one here, I'm going to change that to a C. There's the text. Select the text, change that to C. That's clear. The CE is select entry, clear entry. And here that is going to be plus minus. So to get hold of the plus minus, I'm going to come into Word and let's just open up the fonts controls in there. Okay, this other one here, I'm going to add plus minus to it. So let's open up Word and you see where we have insert. Click on insert and we want the symbol. Inside the symbol I need. Here, open that and I'm going to change this to area. Let's look for area there. And there we go. Now make sure you select plus minus. Click on OK. I'm going to grab hold of that now. Plus minus, copy it. And let's come straight into the text here. That is the text. Come here, the button, select this text and paste that in there. Alright, there we go. Okay, the next thing we want to do is I'm going to select all of these buttons, the four of them, just select it all and create duplicates. Right click, let's see, make sure that text is in there. Select all, right click and duplicates. Move that down. Repeat that again. Right click, duplicates. There. Okay, finally, I just need 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just select all of these and see. Yeah, right click, duplicate. So in total, there will be 20 buttons. There we go. Now, let's change the details of each button. Select this button, this very one. That is it right there. Drop this down and change the text content there to number 7. Select the next one. Change that to number 8. And this is 9. Change the text to 9. And let's select this one and just change that to plus sign. And it's advisable each buttons they should have a name. That'll make life easy for you. And this one is, let's change that to subtract. And there we go. And here that will be number 6. There we go. And let's select this, drop this down and change that to 5. And here that will be 4. There we go. Right here that will be 1. Change the text content to 1. And here let's change this to 2. And this one would be 3. Okay, and here that will be 0. Change that to 0. This is going to be, let's change that to decimal. There. No, that's the wrong one. That should actually be equals. Let's change that to equals. Equals, and this one will be decimal. Okay, and right here, the last one here, I'm going to make that division. And this one here, that's going to be multiplication. Change that to multiplication. And that takes care of the design of the interface. So let's click on run and see how that's going to look like for now. There we go. That's how it's looking. Okay, just need to reduce the size of this text a little bit. I think that seems to be too much or too wide, something like that. So let's go for 5, 3, 8, or maybe 6. Let's see. Okay, now the text. What about the text? Okay, the text is taken care of. Let's take care of the image. 536. Okay, now that is all taken care of, it's advisable for each buttons to have their own respective names. That makes life easy for me just to look for whatever component that I might want. So what I am going to do now, I'm going to select this BS. Okay, that's a button. So that one is going to become, let's just change that to BTN backspace. BTN backspace. There, that's the first one. This is going to be clear entry. BTN clear. Entry. And the one right beside it is just going to be known as clear. Select that, change that to BTN clear. Here, change that to BTN PM plus minus. This button here, that's going to be BTN addition. Then followed by BTN 9. And this is going to be BTN 8. BTN 7. BTN 4. BTN 5. BTN 6. BTN subtract, I'm going to change that to sub. BTN multiply. Let's just change that to BTN mult. BTN 3. BTN 2. BTN 1. BTN 0. BTN dot. BTN equals. And finally, BTN divide. There. All right. This BTN addition, I'm just going to change that to add. So that's fine. All is taken care of. Let's run it one more time. There we go. So all we then need to do now is to start to work with some coding. Okay guys, let's come straight into the project here so that we can create. Right click and let's go to create and select C#. So just give that a name. I'm going to select, I'm going to enter calculator. Okay, so select the calculator script and click on new. Oh, sorry, click on open. And there we go, the scripting environment is ready. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call one of these library, calling, let's say .ui. That would be Unity engine.ui. So right here, let's delete all of these for now, or just delete this one, and I'm going to delete this one as well. And right up here, I'm going to create the following global variable that I intend to use. So I'm going to start by entering as a public. I'm going to call that text, and it's going to be known as result text. That's number one. The next one is going to be public. Let's call that float. That's the data type, and that I'm going to call number one. So the value of number one is 0. Let's say 0f. And I'm going to declare another one that's going to be number 2, num2. There, change that to 2. Then next is going to be the string, and that's going to be public as well. So we change that to, change all of these to string, public string, operator, or maybe operation, something like that. Operations. There we go. Those are my variables taken care of. Now the next thing is, you see this void, I'm going to just change that to public void, and I'll give that a name. I'll call that maybe addition. Public void add, let's say addition, addition, let's just say addition. Okay, that's my very first one, additions. I'm gonna put let's put an I in front of it. Okay, that's for my addition, and with this addition I'm going to, let's say, first number here, that is going to be equals, let's get a float dot, I want to pass and what is it passing? That's going to be whatever we have inside the result text there. So we then say, in that case, operations, the operation in this case is going to be equals, that would be a plus sign, and this very result text, let's get it cleared. So that will take care of the addition function taken care of. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to use it for the subtraction function. Let's get rid of this, change this to subtraction, subtraction, and this is going to be subtract. Done. Now next, let's call that division, division. and enter the division sign there. Then multiplication, and change this to multiplication. Multiplication. Okay, so change this to multiplication. Brilliant. So the arithmetic operators are all taken care of. Now let's take care of the numeric values. So let's say public. Undo that. Undo that again. Okay, then let's just paste now. Public. And this is going to be 7. Let's call this digit 7. Let's say btn digit 7. btn digit digit 7. Okay, btn digit 7 taken care of. And in here, let's use an if statement. If whatever we have in the result, if that is 0, if whatever we have in there equals convert dot to string, yeah, if that is equals 0, so change this to 0, and in that case we want this to happen. We want result equals 7. Result equals 7. Else, underneath here, enter else, come right down, result equals result plus 7. There we go. That is that taken care of. So let's save that. Okay, we can just try this out, or we can copy and just place 1 or 2 more. Place 1 or 2 more for the very first row. Is 3. That would be for 8, and this would be for 9. So change this to 8, and this 8 here. This will be 9, and 9 here, 9 here. There we go. So I have the functions for 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so I'm going to save that. Let's try this out before I go any further. Okay guys, I'm now going to attach the lines of code to my empty game object called calculate, this very one, the ones with the buttons. So I'm just going to drag the code, drop it in there. There we go. Now that is taken care of, I'm now going to open it up, select every single buttons in there, and let's come right here. You see where we have the inspector. Scroll right down, and right underneath here, that's the event I want to use, is known as on click. So click on add. So I'm now going to drag the object, the calculate, the one I added code to, drop it there. Now that is taken care of, if you guys can still recall, I've only taken care of 3 numeric buttons: 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, and 9. I've also taken care of the addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. So let's scroll down. I will just minimize that. I'll come right here now. Now let's select button 7. back into the inspector. You see where we have no function? Click on that, drop it down. We will now want to select calculate. Remember, calculate is the name of my script. So make sure calculate is selected. We now want to look for the function 7. There, I've just added function 7 to button 7. Select button 8. We'll come right down here, repeat the same thing. Calculate 8, button 9, add a function to it. That will be function 9. Then button add. Where is the add? That is subtract. Let's take care of subtract. Sub. Let's see, where's I sub? I called it. Yeah. Now, button add. Let's look for function for addition. It's called I addition. Now, multiplication, that should be known as I multiplication as well. I multiplication, then division. There we go. And that's it. Division taken care of. All right, those 7 functions in total are taken care of. Okay, before I can run it, I am going to go back in here. You see the game object that is actually housing all of the buttons. Make sure it's selected. And in here, I was meant to add my text in here. Let's look for the text. That's the text. Drag the text, drop it in here. Remember this text? The text with the 0. I've just drop it in there now. And let's just move that in a little bit more. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Now that is done, we can now try it out. So let's run. Click on run. We have 7, 8, 9, and so on. So that's good. Now if I click on the plus sign, that clears it, waiting for me to add my value, and there. All right, so that is fine. Let's stop it from working and go back to my lines of codes in here. So now I want to take care of 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to copy this and just use it for 4, 5, and 6. That's 4, 5, 6. Right, so change this to 4. 4 here, 4. Yeah, 5, 5, 5, and 6, 6, 6, and there we go. Now come down here, paste again. That is going to be for 1. Paste. That's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this will be 3. Change that to 3. This to 3, and this to 3. Those are the operators, arithmetic. Sorry, those are the numeric functions taken care of. All right, that's 2, and this one will be 1, 1, and 1, and the last one. Let's do one for the 0. Paste, and this one, let me just change everything here to 0. That's 0, 0, and 0. That is it. Make sure it's saved, and come right here, minimize that back to my system in here. So let's select 0. Come right here. We now need function 0. Function 0, add. Let's go for function number 1. Click on 1, add function number 1, add. Now number 2, function number 2 added. Number 3, come in here, look for function number 3 is added. Now let's go for 4. Click on that, come right here, number 4. Number 5, be the same thing, 5. And number 6, where is 6? Here. Come right here and add number 6. So all of the numeric buttons should be working fine now. Let's run it and see. So we have 0, 1, 2, let's add 0, 6, 5, and there, it's all working. Okay, that is good. Now let's do one more thing. I now want to add the following. First of all, let's do one thing. This is just getting annoying for me. Select this, hold on to the shift key, just select it all here. I want to see if I can move it to the edge. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, save that. Now let's take care of the equals. Back to my codes. Okay, right underneath here, I'm going to take care of the equals. Okay, underneath here, that'll be for my equals. I'm just going to enter public void, and that it will be. That's going to be known as equals operator, something like that. Enter my statement block. Now, let's say float. I'm going to call that result, and the value and result is 0. That's where I'm going to store my results. So I'm going to then say num2, the variable, the global variable declare up there. That one is going to be equals float dot parse and what are we passing? I'm passing whatever I have inside the text result or result text. Okay, so now let's use an if statement. I'm going to then say if the operation, if that is equals, no, that should be equals the plus sign, then result, that is this, result is going to be equals num1 plus num2. And now I want to store this result straight into result text. Okay, now I'm going to then say result text, taking whatever value we have in here. Remember, result text only takes in text, so we will say result dot convert to string. These are two different operators though, so don't mix them up. There, so that takes care of the very first one. Or you see this result, I don't want you guys to get confused. I'm going to change it to answer. Let's change it to answer so that you know there are two different things there. Answer and answer here. Okay, that's it. Okay, this is for the text box. This is just to add whatever answer we have straight in here. So that takes care of the operator. I'm going to copy this and repeat the same thing for the subtraction, multiplication, and division. So this is addition, this will be subtraction, this is multiplication, and here we have division, and division here. I think I have more than expected. Delete this now. So we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Those are sorted. So let's make sure that it's saved. We can try that out. Back into our Unity editor. Now let's select equals. That is equals there. Come right down here. And inside the event again, repeat the same thing. Calculate. Where is equals? I need equals. I think, what did I call it on that system? Let's go back into my code. Let's see. What was it referred to? Yeah, equals operator. Now back in here, select the button and come right here. We need the equals operator. Let's see. There we go. There. So now we have equals operator there. I'm going to run it. So if I say 8 plus 9, there we go. Multiply by 3, there. Divide by 7. Brilliant. That's working. All right. So that's good. That's very good. Now, let's take care of 1, 2, and 3. And this one. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is very easy. So let's come back into my codes. So that'll be the clear function. So let's create one for clear. Come right down here. So let's just go for public. btn clear. There. And clear, this is just going to be, we set this to 0. That should be void because it's not returning anything. There. That's for clear. Now, there's another one called CE, clear entry. So I'm going to change that to btn clear entry. I can just put an E there. Okay, that's taken care of. So I will then declare as a string f comma s. So f for first number, s for second number. I'm going to say f equals convert dot to string whatever we have inside number 1, the variable num1. Okay, and I'm going to repeat the same thing for the second one. This is s and this is 2. Okay, and in that case, so either one, if it's the first one, we clear the first one. If it's the second one, we clear the second one. So clear and clear as well. That takes care of my clear entry. Okay, so save that. I can try that out so that you guys see how it works. So come in here where it's clear, that is button clear entries. Select that and select this and just look for btn e clear. There we go. That's clear entry. The other one is just ordinary clear, btn clear. Drop that down and change that to btn clear. And let's run it. So we've taken care of 2 buttons. These 2, 1, 2. Now let's say we go for 8. Multiply by 9. We don't want to multiply by 9. Clear that and choose 2. There. The answer is 16. That is correct. That is good. So the clear entry is working. Let me change this one to maximize screen. Yeah, that's good. So 12 multiplied by 5. No, we don't want to multiply by 5. Clear that. Multiply by 3. There we go. All right, this one needs to be repositioned. Let's see, where was it? Okay guys, let's take care of this error. So you see here where we have the rectangle, look at it. You see the blue plus sign there? Let me show it to you guys again so that you understand what I'm talking about. Look at it, it's up there again. So I'm going to stop it. Make sure your panel is selected. You see the blue rectangle? Just double click on that and I want it centered. Just that's all. So I'm going to run it now. And there we go. Look at that. Okay, so that's what I was meant to do, which I forgot. All right then, that is fine. So the next thing we want to do now is let's take care of 1, 2 and 3. So back into my codes. Now right underneath here, I'm going to go for, let's say, public void. I'm going to call that backspace, btn backspace, enter statement block. Now with the backspace, I'm going to use an if statement. If result equals text dot length, if the length equals 0. So let me accept this to reduce the workload. So let's just come here, dot length. If the length is less than 0, what then do we want the system to do? We now want this to do as follows. We want result equals result, paste that there, result equals result dot remove whatever we have inside the result. That's results, text results dot length minus 1. Length here minus 1 comma 1. There. Now else, if it's empty, I want it to default back to 0. I'm just going to copy all of this and change it around. So let's say, undo that. Paste. If it's empty, which I don't want, I'd like it to default back to 0 immediately. So just change this one to default back to 0. And that's it. That should take care of my backspace. So if I save that, come right in my Unity editor. So let's try out the backspace. No, it's not going to work yet. Let's select the backspace. Backspace, come right here, add a function to it. Backspace. Okay, now run. So enter whatever, backspace, default back to 0. Backspace. All right, that's done. Now let's take care of plus minus. So back in my code, come right down here. So I'm going to call that public void plus minus. So I can just call it PM. Public void plus M minus. Yeah, that's that we do. With the public void plus minus, first of all, I'm going to declare the following. Let's say float. I'm going to call that Q equals float, and I would like it to pass dot pass. What am I passing? You passing the result. Paste that in here. There. Okay, now come right down here and say result. That is equals convert dot to string whatever I have inside Q, but it's going to be -1 multiplied by Q there. So this will add the minus for me. So save that, come back in here inside my Unity editor, and let's select the plus minus. Select that button, scroll right down, add function plus minus to it. I call that plus, there we go, function plus minus. Now run. I should be able to just enter the plus sign in front of it, the minus, click again, plus minus, multiply by 5 equals minus that. Okay, backspace, backspace, backspace. Now all done here. We now need to take care of the decimal. So back into my codes. So with the decimal, I'm just going to copy this again, come right in here, public void, I'm going to call it decimal. Okay, and that is going to be using an if statement. If result text dot contains decimal. Okay, come right down here, that should be dot text. There's no text there. Dot text, and that contains this. If that contains that, and I want this to be equals result test plus 1 decimal. That is it. Yeah, that's correct. Now save that. Okay, so let's go back to my Unity editor. Now run. Oh, I need to attach it. It has to be attached. And I need to move this as well, though. It's making it look ugly. And bring everything back down. Take that up again, then bring it all together back down. Yeah, and let's select it all and bring it down. Yeah, select the image as well. Take it right down, and let's see, something like that. Okay, I need to add this now. Decimal. That's decimal. Come right down here, look for function decimal. Function. I'll call it this. Where is it? There we go. Alright, that's added. Now let's run. Click on run. There we go. So let's say 25. Oh, the decimal. What's going on? Let's check the decimal idea. What's the name? What name did I call it? Let me just call it BTN Des so that I don't mix it up anymore. Save. Come back in here. Select button BTN dot. Come to the function and drop that down, and let's select DTN decimal. Where is that? There we go. Right. Okay, let's look at my codes again because the decimal is added. Okay, look here. You see here, if result, that's what's supposed to be if not. Enter the sign not there. Look at that. Can you see it? I did not add that. If not result, text dot contains this. Then I want this to happen. Okay, so I'm going to save that. Hopefully that's my correction made. All right, now run. You see that? I click on the decimal again, nothing happens, so that's fine. Multiply by 8. There we go. Guess what, guys? That's how you create your own calculator in Unity. So with that, guys, I'm going to call it the end of this beautiful tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoy it. And you all have a nice day now. Thanks for watching. And please do subscribe to my channel. And you can also join to become a member of the channel. Bye for now.